Hello, parents. Welcome to the Masterful Parenting Podcast. I'm Anne Alvares, parent coach, school counselor, and mother of two. Do you sometimes struggle with your parenting role? Do you notice that sometimes you're repeating patterns that you learned in your own childhood? Maybe you are carrying childhood pain that has not been healed, and you notice that it is showing up in your parenting with your own children. Perhaps you yell or get frustrated easily. Maybe you are directing them or telling them what to do all the time, and you notice that your actions are affecting your relationship with your children. Well, parents, I totally understand this. I came from childhood pain and I learned how to be a relational parent with my children. And I can teach this to you as well. This podcast is all about learning how to heal the childhood pain that we are carrying so that we can foster healthy relationships with our kids. Join us every week for a new show, and we will dive into the healing and the fostering of healthy relationships with our children. Hello, parents. Welcome to the Masterful Parenting Podcast. I am super excited because I have a special guest. Her name is Katarina Hanssens Carlsson, and she is a purpose-driven founder of Global Leadership Schools and Teachers Heroes, guiding parents and teachers in the art of fostering children's unique brilliance. Welcome, Catherine.
Thank you so much, Anne. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so this is such an amazing topic, fostering children's brilliance.
Yeah.
What is it hard to do? What do we do?
It's not hard to do. It's perfectly natural to do. But the problem we're solving is that in the US, we know, and I think this is happening globally, that children are being dumbed down. So they start school with 98% creative genius, according to Dr. George Land.
Okay.
98%, very high, up to the age of 6. Then by the time they're teenagers, when they need their brilliance, it's down to 12%. And then
Wow.
when these same young people are adults, it's down to 2%. So no
Wow.
wonder we have problems in the world. So
Wow.
it's clear that schools do not bring out, discover the children's brilliance. If they did, they honestly wouldn't have problems with violence. They wouldn't have problems with disruptions in the classroom. Some of the children are bored. Some of the children
Yeah.
feel that school is not serving them. So what can we do at home? All right. If we have to have our children in school, what can
Yeah.
we do to nurture their brilliance? Okay. So number one, it may sound strange, but Karolinska Institute in Sweden have come up with a research that proves that children are linguistic geniuses up to the age of 6.
Okay.
So we need to be teaching them another language. So even if we don't have two languages in the family, like I was brought up with French and English, the parents can learn a language. They can learn Spanish with their children. But the important thing is to communicate and to teach your child a language before the age of 6. Read in Spanish or in French, and you can explain, and they'll pick up the language. So that's
Oh,
number one. So the next
I
one.
love that.
Sorry, yeah, you do,
I love
yeah.
I love that.
What?
I my youngest is in French immersion. He's been in French immersion since kindergarten.
There you go.
I only speak English, even though I'm multi-ethnic. But and my oldest love like he taught himself Russian, but he was interested in languages at an early age. So I love it. I love it. I totally agree with you.
Tu parles français aussi, non?
Yeah. Sorry.
Tu parles français aussi.
No, I
French
don't.
as well?
I
No.
only know a few words.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay. So
yeah.
your parents didn't teach you French?
No,
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 because I
no.
came here when I was 3, Canada.
No.
So, yeah,
Okay,
and my parents
okay,
didn't speak French. So, yeah.
okay,
But
okay.
yeah, so if you don't speak another language, parents, you can get them into like an immersion school, right? Where they're
Yes,
actually picking up another language, or taking classes. It's good if they're emerged because then they hear it. They're hearing the language. Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah. I think that is
And
brilliant in itself.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, children in Sweden don't start school officially till they're 7. So, I mean, they've got so many years from the time they're like 2 years old, and
Yes.
they start play school. They've got
Yeah.
5 years to learn the language. So, um, what we can do is, I mean, there are games on YouTube, there are films on YouTube, there are
Mhm.
fun language teaching movies. So
Yeah.
there's no excuse. And,
No.
you know, and also, number one, communicate with your child. Communicate with them as if they're a young adult,
Okay.
not a baby, um, because they take themselves seriously. So we should take themselves seriously too. We should
Okay.
take them. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And number one, observe your child. Don't try
Okay.
to mold them to our mold. Observe them. What do they love to do? Have a grandchild who's very, very physical, and I play tennis with him. I play ping pong with him. We invent games. We play hockey together. We play hide and seek in the woods. And
Wow.
his elder sister is likes to create, and she's highly creative, and she likes to make smoothies. So we go along with that. And actually, I'll have to show you my gallery here. Here are their paintings in my kitchen.
Amazing. Wow, parents. Amazing. It's a wall full of kids' paintings, children's
Yes,
paintings.
yes,
Beautiful.
yes, and no
Beautiful.
judgment whether they're good or bad or whatever. And I
No,
paint
but
with them, and
I
sometimes
l-
we, you know, together.
I
So
love that you display it. Like
yeah,
so
yes, they're all over my kitchen, and the
yeah.
children feel acknowledged. They feel that their art is good enough to put on my wall, and that
Yes.
I love it there, and it makes the whole apartment very lively. So
I
play
love
with
that.
your children, paint with your children, have fun with children. And I know a lot of parents are going to say, "Oh my gosh, Katarina, I have the laundry to do. I need to keep my children clean and fed, and I have so much to do." I understand. I understand. And I brought up my 2 children for several years on my own, and it is a lot of work. And from time to time, you just need to go and rest. I mean, my children used to come up to me and say, "Mom, what's the matter?" And I would say, "I'm just so tired." And they said, "Go to bed." And they were like
Wow.
3 and 4. They had a playroom,
Yeah.
and I trusted them. So I just went to bed for 20 minutes and came back refreshed. So,
Nice.
um, and what they used to do with me is they used to cook with me. So wok cooking is really fun. Chopping up vegetables and
Yes.
putting them in a wok, and children love that. And if they can't reach the stove, you have a little stool that they can stand on, and they
Hmm.
love doing that. And
Yes.
you can even play games with laundry, folding
Yes.
laundry, and
Yes.
it can all be fun. So
Yes.
so observe them and encourage their creativity. So,
Yes.
and also avoid saying the word no. I
Okay.
hear parents say the word no the whole time. It closes down your neurosystem. It closes down your creative imagination.
Yeah.
So, so of course, if your child is going to run across a road and there's a lot of traffic, you say, come back here, it's not safe, rather
Right.
than no. Yeah.
Right.
In an
Right.
emergency, you might have to say no. But I hear parents say it like every few minutes, and it lowers the child's self-esteem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So say yes or say, I think there's a better way to do this, or should we try this, or let's see if this will work.
Right.
Oh, what's the next one? Discover what your child loves and encourage.
Yes.
You know,
I love
what do you want to do? What do you love to do? And let's do that together. Ask your
tips.
child what they want to be when they're older, because that's
Hmm.
really important for them. How are you going to make money? How are you going to thrive in your life? Are you going to be like mom or dad, or are you going to be completely different? Are you going to have your own business, or are you going to have a job? What would you love to do, and how can I help you do that?
Yeah.
I have a client in Cyprus, and she's 7 years old, and we did a business blueprint with her. Why not start entrepreneurship at 7 years old, which we should do in schools? And
Yes.
she wants to start her own boutique. And it may be a whole line of boutiques, but she's 7, and now school is important for her in certain aspects, because maths is important because you've got to count the money, right?
Yes.
and textiles are important because she's got to think of fashion and what she would have in her boutique. And then when she's
Yes.
shopping with her mum, she looks at different boutiques and goes, no, I like that idea. I don't like that boutique. I don't find it attractive. So she's thinking all the time about that.
Amazing.
So it's just one example. Another young boy I asked when I was on holiday in the archipelago in Sweden, I asked him, "What do you want to do when you're older?" "Well, I'm going to be an astronaut and a doctor, and I'm going to learn sign language." And I said, as adults do, I said, "Are you going to do that all at once?" "Of course," he said. And now, years later, he's actually studying to be a doctor. He's actually studying to be an astronaut. And he's learned sign language because he just, children don't know any limitations, and we shouldn't put too many limitations on them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. And yes, encourage your child in school subjects. Ask them what they love to do, what their favorite subject is, who their favorite teacher is. Get to know them and encourage their friendships, have pajama parties. Um, Encourage your child to love themselves, because if they love
Yes.
themselves, they're going to have a good life.
Right.
And when they say something like, "Oh, I'm lousy at math," or something like that, say to them, "Well, what if math was fun? And what if we did math together and math was fun?" So that you introduce the possibility of something that they don't like to be
Uh-huh.
fun.
Uh-huh.
So those are my 10 suggestions.
I love them. I love them so much. Oh, okay. What do you think? As you were talking, I was thinking about parents. What do you think are parents' roadblocks to fostering the brilliance in their children?
I think that's a very good question. I think if their brilliance wasn't fostered by their parents, it's not easy
Right.
to suddenly change. I found as a parent, whatever my parents did well. For example, my mother played Rin Tin Tin with us, catch the can or kick the can with us.
Yeah.
So if you the person who's the can person goes looking, and if you're hiding, you kick the can, right? So
Oh, okay.
it's fun. And I never forgot that she played maybe just that one day with us. So today I play hide and seek with my grandchildren, and we absolutely love it. I haven't taught them kick the can yet, but
Okay.
we so so if you find resistance, you have resistance, you find yourself really tired when a child says, oh, will you
Yeah.
play with me, or will you do this? Just
Yeah.
look back to your childhood, forgive yourself, and
Yes.
say to yourself, my parents didn't do that. You don't have to tell your children that. You could, but tell yourself, my parents didn't do it, but you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to find the energy. I'm going to do it. I'm going to involve myself. But forgive yourself if you really have tremendous resistance, and understand where it comes from.
I love that. I really love that. And then when you were talking about self teaching our children self-love,
Yeah.
I was thinking we have to love ourselves first in
Yes.
order to teach our children self-love, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
they role model, they look at us, and then that's what they learn. That's what they model, right? So we have to be the models. And maybe we have to be the ones that keep learning, right? Like maybe we like I'm inspired now. I want to learn a language. You know,
Good for you.
maybe we don't stop learning so that they understand that we're still fostering our own brilliance.
Yes. And our love for ourselves. And that's absolutely, it's a great question, because if we haven't loved ourselves as children, if our parents didn't particularly love us as children, then we've got to learn that. And
Yes.
what I found is very real for me, there is a process, is to write down everything you don't like about yourself, everything that you hate about yourself, and just turn it around. Just look at that and go, well, if I really keep that in my life, that self dislike and self hate, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to be fulfilled. So write it down and make a choice
Mhm.
to just cross out the dislikes, cross out, the hates, especially the hates, and turn them
Yes.
around and just say, no, you know, I don't like this habit about myself, and I'm going to change the habit. Or I've hated that about myself, and I'm going to change it. Or at the moment, I'm just going to accept it. But
Yeah.
move from hate, move away from hate, self hate, move away from dislike. Because if you don't love yourself, you cannot love anyone.
Ah, I am so on the same page as you because self-hatred does not allow you to be who you're meant to be, number one. And
Yes,
also, it blocks loving others, right? Like
absolutely.
we cannot truly love our children if
No.
we don't love ourselves.
Yeah, and they feel it.
They
And it's
feel it.
very damaging, because the only thing a child wants to know is, does mom love me? Does dad love me? Am I loved? Am I lovable? Once they know that for sure, and it's unconditional love, they're free, they're happy. But if
Yes,
they
yes.
don't feel loved, if they don't feel cared for, if they feel neglected, or if they feel abused, it will damage them for life unless they heal it, and they can heal it.
Yes, yes. I can relate to this because just coming from childhood pain myself, um, I've been on the journey of learning to love myself, right? But if
Good
we
for
can give
you.
it to our kids, like right away, early on,
Yeah,
I know with my children, I see such a difference because I chose to mother them a different way than I was mothered.
good for
And
you.
yeah, and I'm just like everything that you said to me speaks to me. Because my oldest was so interested in so many things. It started out with golf ball finding. So we would go to every golf course and look for golf balls.
Really?
Not
At what age?
He was
When
little, like 2, 3, and
2 or 3 years old? Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
it
Wonderful.
lasted for a while. It lasted till I think he was about 6. But we had a collection, and he ended up selling them, and he made his first like couple $100, right?
Wonderful.
And so that
Wonderful.
was like the start of him learning about money and learning that, oh, I can do something and make money. And then as he progressed, his love for languages, he taught himself Russian in 3 years. In grade 7, he said, Mom, can we sign up for this language program online? And I'm a teacher, you're a teacher. Like, I was like, of course, if it's
Yeah.
anything educational, yes. And
Yeah.
so he
Especially when
used,
it comes from the child. When it comes,
yes,
I want to do this. I want to learn what Russian.
yes,
I want to sell golf balls. It's wonderful.
yes,
Wonderful.
yes. It has to come from them because they have this inner um knowledge about themselves.
Yes.
This inner, like, they already come with interests and things. Like, they're like, because I know this because with my 2 children, they're totally different from each other, and I know that they each came with different interests, right? So fostering those interests will help your children to thrive. Honestly, it is the truth.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Um, I know I live fairly near the beach, but it's still a 10-minute walk. And my grandson, Theo, um, he found a golf ball on the way to the beach. And golf balls are fun because they bounce. So
Yes.
instead of thinking, oh my God, it's a long way to the beach, and he used to complain, my little legs are just not strong enough for this.
Oh,
But with a golf ball, he was like running after the ball, and he had such a
oh,
good time. So he and
yeah.
your son would get on very, very well.
I know. I know. Like, I think we find out what they like, and
Yes.
then we make it happen. We foster it.
We
And it
make it
doesn't,
absolutely.
yeah, we make it happen, right?
Yeah. That
So,
led to bouncing balls, rubber balls, um, a kind of tennis game. It's not
yeah.
exactly a tennis game in the hall
Mhm.
with bouncing balls. And I heard my grandson say, "I could do this all day."
Yeah.
He said to me, with playing with me.
So
Yeah,
cute.
so sweet.
And um, what do you think about just with with our kids, um, when they have an idea
Yeah,
that we work hard to, even though it might be expensive, like violin lessons or something, that we work hard to get them what they want, what they're asking for, right? When it comes to learning and growing. And then the other thing that crossed my mind is with the brain and the neural pathways, is when we're asking questions, we're actually getting them problem solving, right? And we should probably be fostering the problem solving in our
yes,
kids
yes.
instead of solving the problem for them.
Absolutely. That's a great point. And absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's when a child comes with a problem, first of all, it's best to tell them there's no such thing as a problem. There are challenges. So, what should we do with this challenge? What do you think? What are the solutions? They'll come up with so many, especially before the age of 6, so many
Yes.
different ways. And that's great to go with that.
Yes. 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 Like, what do you think? How do you think we can solve this?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and even in the teenage years, instead of directing, saying, how can things be better?
Yeah,
How can your life be better? I know.
Yes.
The teenage years, they do complain about school a lot. I have a 14-year-old. He's complaining about school all the time. So I say to him, how do you make things better? What would make it better?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that instead of we're not sitting in the complaining, but we're moving into the problem solving.
Yeah. For example, participating in a lesson, talking to the teacher. If the teacher is open, some teachers are not open, unfortunately. But if the
Yeah,
teacher's open,
yeah,
and the student is bored,
yeah,
then the student can say, "Well, can we do this?" For example, like a history lesson. It could be lots of dates and lots of facts that you've got to learn for a test. Then a teenager could say to the teacher, "Well, can we learn all the facts? Can you give us all the facts? And then we'll learn it, or we'll write it down. And then can we have a quiz? Can we have a drama circle? Can we
yeah,
make it fun?" You know,
yeah,
when children participate in a lesson and make it fun, then it's not only better for them and they learn more because they learn a
yes,
lot from each other. And sometimes they
yes,
learn more from each other than from their teachers.
yes, yes. I love that. I think I'm going to use that with my youngest. I'll be like, why don't you go to the teacher and
Yeah,
suggest,
yes,
you know, something that you think would be great for the
yes,
class, right?
yes,
So
absolutely.
that's a good one. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, because
That's
he's at that age that parents, you understand if you're raising a teenager, they're at that age
And
where they're,
especially if the teacher allows them to use their mobile phones, they can be very useful. They can do a quiz on their mobile phones.
yes,
And I've seen that done in Sweden, and it worked really well, and everybody participated because it was fun.
yes. I
Yeah.
love that. I love the focus of making learning fun, right?
Yeah. It
I
should be
think
fun. Why should it be, like 12 years at least of boredom? Why, what I see in schools and is the curriculum could be academic in the mornings only. And in the afternoon, you follow your brilliance. So it could be entrepreneurship, it could be music, it could be dance, it could be entertainment, it could be football, it could be sports, it could be anything. When you
it could be
allow,
computer programming too, if
excuse
that's
me,
what you're into, right? It
yeah,
could be computer programming. It could be
yes, it could be.
learning cars, working on cars. Yeah.
Absolutely. It could be, I mean, young people today love computer games. It could be
Yes.
inventing a computer games or a skateboard.
Yeah.
Um, so that they learn that school can be fun too, and school should be about them. The purpose of school should be to foster their brilliance and
Totally speaks to me. How do we revolutionize schools? Because we're still
well, we're
teaching
on
the
our
same
way to
way.
do that because, 60 years ago, Dr. George Land, as I said before, came up with the fact that we are not fostering creative genius in schools, and we should be. And children, I mean, with your children, up to the age of 6 or 7, they're like, yeah, I'm going to be an
Yeah.
astronaut. I'm going to be a pilot. I'm going to do this. And they have
Yes.
all these questions. And sometimes it's very difficult to answer all the questions, but they're curious. They want to go on an
Yes.
adventure.
Yes. Yes.
And it's very important for them not to be bored
Hmm.
and not to
Yeah.
be limited. So to
Right.
bring out their brilliance and
Right.
help them to feel very special and very important in life. I'm not so important that they're the most important person in the family, but that they are important.
Mm-hmm. Ah, love it, love it, love it. Okay. Um, Katrina Hansen Carlsson, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to have you on the show. I love your tips, and parents, you got some great tips, 10 tips on fostering the brilliance in your children. So even if you did half of that, I think it would be amazing. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Well, do you want to share with the audience where you can be found? if they want to work with
Mostly
you
on
or
LinkedIn,
okay.
Global Leadership Schools and Destiny International 11 is on LinkedIn, but it's Katarina Hanssens Carlsson or Catherine Carlson on LinkedIn is the best way to reach me.
Oh,
Connect with me.
perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, you go and
Oh,
enjoy your grandchildren.
I will. I invite them to lunch every Saturday, and they
Oh,
sit at this little table of food.
oh,
Can you see the table?
I can. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
cute.
So I sit with them at the table, and for Christmas, they prefer to sit at that table
Oh,
than with us at the big table.
that's so
Absolutely.
nice. That's so nice. Okay, well, oh, my nose is running. Okay, thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for joining today, and thank you, parents, for joining today. I hope this has helped you, and I look forward to our next show. Take care, everybody. Thank you, parents, for joining the show today. I hope it was valuable and that you have some useful tools to use with your children. If this show blessed you or changed you in any way, I would appreciate a review on my podcast or subscribe to my YouTube channel, or perhaps you could even recommend our masterful parenting to your family and friends. Thank you so much, parents.